Yeah, and Tento, I presume you have your fruit and leaves meal as well, but they bring out the meat and greens meal next, and it is astounding in its caliber. The meat has been treated just so, pulverized and glazed, and cooked from within. It's astounding. Each bit a savory flair that ripples across the body. The wine is sweet plum wine, made in the old tradition. Pungent, intended to be sipped from smaller glasses. The liquor is served in small crystal cylinders, and it is stout, refreshing. Not harsh, but certainly not weak. The scone is the absolute proper amount of, like, a firm bite on the outside, gooey goodness on the inside.
Bailey, did you say this thing's supposed to be sipped? This drink?
The wine? Yes.
Yeah. Now, why is that?
Well, for one, it's potent wine. For two, plum wine is a very traditional, like, high culture wine that you drink when you're being fancy. So, you know.
Also, the flavor.
Tito's gonna take a big chug.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like
Delicious.
this flavor itself is also just really strong. So it's like kind of this type of drink
Yeah.
you would naturally sip from the intense flavor.
Yeah, because it could overwhelm you if you were just like, oh, plum wine, time to shotgun.
Tito's gonna shotgun because he doesn't know that.
Yeah,
Like,
so,
whoa, that cleared out the sciences.
yeah, and he says, so, Tento, I haven't heard about how you became an adventurer. Come, we were just sharing our stories.
Tito sort of like just looks over his mouth. He's like stuff in his mouth. He just swallows. I want to make money.
As noble goal as any. To be honest, that's how I started off as well.
Yeah, turns out I have a knack for scouting stuff.
I have no doubt.
Actually, you know what? Your advice, bro. You probably know all my adventures. Yes, I'm a pretty good thief.
He says, oh, well, let's
Like,
just
I
say
don't know why I should
I've
bother.
been on a few sides. Let's just say I'm on first name basis with all the fences in my city.
Oh,
Yes.
that is scary.
Oh, well, I like to know all of the business that goes on within my bounds. As Viceroy, it is my job to ensure everything runs smooth. In all regards. I am a leader
Fair.
to every member of my society. I seek
Oh.
to leave them in a golden equilibrium that does not unduly deprive them of anything. Without upending nature. He twirls his wine in his glass and he says, but to be honest, I also needed the money. Busking just isn't what it used to be. Father wanted me to learn craft, and I did, after a fashion.
See that?
But it was music and stories. I saw the other elves so obsessed with that I wanted to join them in. Of course, it was a sad affair in the end. I realized they were remembering the lives that never should have ended. So much of our art, remembrance. So much of mine is remembrance. Not... Well, I shan't bore you. Suffice to say, busking only gets you so far. And my family had means, but I wanted to leave the mountains. I wanted to strike out across the Festland. It was a dynamic time. It was before the Serene Rains. It was a different time. In pursuit of fortune, amid friends. And in pursuit of wealth, I accidentally found myself bound in honor.
Oh.
I was elevated. I never thought I would hold a higher title. And perhaps I still don't. He reflects on it for a moment and says, yes. I am a samurai. The one title I suppose you could say I truly earned.
How do you earn such a title?
Oh, well, you see, in the days before the Serene Rains, there were Ritters and there were samurai. However, during the period, there were conflicting laws, which would sometimes create an unfortunate series of issues. I mean, it was always jockeying over, oh, who was going to get this, who was going to get primers. It was all a bother. Having two systems of the lower nobility was a bother. So it was reformed away. Now, they didn't strip anybody of their status. They just made all samurai families henceforth be Ritter families. So if you couldn't pass on the title. However, samurai was retained as a title of acclaim. That's why you see modern warriors are never born samurai. They are acclaimed them by others. And in this fashion, there is the trick. You see, there is far greater honor and prestige in being called a samurai than there is in being called a Ritter.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that was 200 years ago now that the reforms happened. I suppose there might be other long-lived who still hold the title. In the direct sense. Okay, so Zion. The moment Zion reaches out to grab it, there is a crack of lightning, and Calrinia is right at Zion's side. With a Fey killing black iron weapon out, peeks towards Zion's throat. But here's the thing. Everything goes silent, and Calrinia's grasp goes slack, and his eyes go wide as he says, it can't be. Because you see, Zion is lifting the power stave.
Hey, are these
Sonic
wings like...
claps.
And Calrinia's mouth opens. Says, it can't be! There's no... Yeah,
You did it,
Zetento.
Zion.
What is everyone doing at the table as this happens?
Tenta pulls out his weapons.
Yeah, Kibancho
Not-
also pulls out his weapon.
I feel like Lonnie wouldn't actually be at a good angle to see the eye thing or whatever. So Lonnie's
I mean-
just clapping.
Alright, so,
I only think that Zion did a cool thing.
So Zion-
and nothing bad is gonna happen.
Calrenia looks directly at you. And looks into your eye discs. And says... Yep.
I'm sorry.
He says... His mind is racing. He's trying to figure out any explanation for this. And his eyes grow wider and wider and wider.
Oh,
Until
wow.
he reaches-
slowly sets it down.
No, he grabs your hand and keeps it in it. He drops his weapon to the sword and he puts his other hand right at the neck guard. And with eyes like melted glaze, he, with complete disbelief in even his own words, speaks one word. Grandma? So, that was a wonderful
There's
episode
so
of
many
Pyro.
jokes. There's so many jokes you can make with that.
What do you... What?
So,
What's on this stack again?
So, hello everyone, that was our episode of Hyro. We're going to do a feedback phase real quick. I have been thinking about this moment since like the beginning of the Cathadak arc, so long time coming. Every time it was like, could you use a little more Zion backstory? I'm like, I have been in the kitchen, I have been cooking.
I have been cooking!
I have a succulent dessert prepared.
I provided a library. No one took it.
You're gonna get it. Alright, so, kicking off with Casey.
The O shop was very fun. It was the shopping episode I wanted and more, because lots of very interesting items. I'm very much looking forward to this race, where we actually like get to do shit instead of like, oh, no magic, no cheating or anything. It's like, ooh, wait, we get to be creative with stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting character, especially with like how like long-lived he is and how knowledgeable he is of stuff. And it should be an interesting next encounter.
So yeah, anything else?
I think that's it for now.
Dalen.
Hi, that was a lot of fun. You know, that little weird grandma thing. I'm so curious what you're gonna do with that. That is by far the most interesting thing that happened this round. The shopping was fun and all, but like fucking saying grandma for this like old ass like elf. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. Like like this guy has been around for like what'd you say again? Like
Almost
Thousand.
200.
Yeah.
Dude, he's the better part of 1,000 years, so he's
The
he's
yeah.
at least
So he's
older
like-
than 500.
Yeah, so like this guy's been around for a while, and suddenly he calls it's called Zion Grandma, which means it's like it's 2 generations before him. So like that's fucking insane. I can't wait to see what
That's fair. I
Grandma.
forgot about that aspect.